无法离开这里。
那我该怎么做？
给我站站！Poor old Vincent Zhao, he just can't catch a break. Zhao started his career promisingly, filling in the shoes of Jet Li's Wang Feihong and starring in a string of pretty decent films like Choi Hark's The Blade and Kara Yoon's Fong Se-yuk. His more recent stints sadly relegated him to the realm of web films, reprising in his most popular role as Wang Feihong in Unity of Heroes and Warrior of the Nation. 2021 sees him both starring and directing Counterattack, which is described as a military film in the same vein as Operation Red Sea and Wolf Warrior. Let's cut to the chase. Counterattack is a bad film. The plot is paper thin and is filled with insanely bad dialogue and poorly implemented set pieces. Zhao plays military man Liu Jiming, who is assigned to protect a politician in an open press conference for an oil deal. Surprising no one, the deal goes wrong. The man Liu was to protect gets assassinated and Liu is framed for the killing. Now on the run, Liu is joined by journalist Mo Bai, who agrees to join him in order to get the big scoop. Along the way, there is Liu's closest friend and associate, Leon, who was presumed dead but is very much alive. Liu and Bai uncovers a conspiracy and has to confront the big bad guy at the end. The film is filled with many questionable moments, like its opening where we see Vincent Zhao donning a jetpack, pursuing a speedboat, all the while holding a sniper rifle, ready to assassinate the person on board. First off, there's no way he can keep a steady aim, let alone hold the rifle, scoped in. Secondly, any element of stealth is removed. And lastly, why shoot such a scene when you clearly don't have the budget in shooting convincing CGI? The midsection we have Liu and Bai's romantic relationship, but it's done with this haphazard montage where it then zones into a clock face where the dials are spinning to indicate time lapsing. Not only is this all cheesy, but removes any urgency that the film is supposed to have. Within their bonding section, Liu teaches Bai how to use a sniper rifle, and in a ridiculously short time, she is a crack shot. There's a lot of misplaced comedy, and Vincent Zhao never feels comfortable with the comedy. Surprisingly, Zhao gives the foreign actors a lot of screen time. The gesture is commendable, but not necessarily a good thing, considering how poorly written and acted these moments are. Shouldering most of the acting chops is China-based foreign actor Dati, best known in Jackie Chan's Vanguard. Zhao himself does try hard, but maybe a bit too hard in channeling Wu Jing or even Donnie Yen, but he fails to surround his performance with a good script or direction. I would also like to know why the film is set in a fictional Southeast Asian country where everyone speaks woefully bad English instead of their native tongue. Bear in mind, none of the actors are native English speakers, so you have these awful dialogue sections in English and at times it's incomprehensible. So let's talk about the action, which they are plentiful, but sadly lacking any real punch to them. As mentioned before, the opening is an assassination attempt that goes wrong and transitions to a shootout, but it is shot in a very boring manner. Then we have two chase scenes through the jungle, one set during the day and one during the night, but neither chase provide any intensity or real danger. Midway through the film, we get our real fight scene between China-based martial artist Myra, who some may recognize from the film Abduction starring Scott Adkins. Her character is pretty bland and there's no real sense of threat, but the audience can see that she's a very competent martial artist. The fight is framed well and possesses some nice impact, but it's rather short-lived. It is very reminiscent of the Wu Jing v Scott Adkins fight from Wolf Warrior. As the film neared its end, I was concerned that it was going to end on a whimper with a very by-the-numbers infiltration scene, but thankfully we do end with a fight scene that is rather ill-fitting to the scene, but at least we have a fight scene. The fight does borrow heavily from Donnie Yen versus Wu Jing's fight from SPL, in which both dagger-wielding combatants size and test each other out with strikes and slashes. It's a decent fight scene, but is occasionally ruined by some odd wire gags. I'm glad to see Zhao managing to shed his more wushu styling and embrace a more popular MMA technique, employing grappling into the mix, which feels more fitting to a modern setting. As negative as I was towards the film, I feel there's minor enjoyment to be had. I'm a sucker for Vincent Zhao films, so I can deem it mildly enjoyable, but to everyone else, they can avoid this.